This video is gonna offend some people, but I don't really give a fuck because this is my history of dating single mums and why I don't want to date single mums. So it's been a big joke for years about why do you only date single mums? Why do you find the worst of the worst? Alright? And this is not by choice, by the way. It's just unlucky. So in my time, I've dated a lot of single mums, and that's not by choice. I don't go looking for single mums, that's for sure. That's the last thing I actually want. I'd rather have kids of my own, to be fair. I've dated some really shit ones. The most recent one I've dated, right, lived in another state and she was fucking toxic. Absolutely fucking disgusting. She got fired from her job because all she cared about was her dickhead partner that is a woman basher, a child basher, and someone that can't hold his own piss. Drinks and drinks and is very violent. She decided to cheat on me with him. Right? Oh, it gets worse. Then a second time around I dated her. She hides the fact that her baby daddy's in the picture and they're fucking and hooking up behind my back too. She can deny it all she wants, but I knew that. This woman is absolutely fucking toxic and disgusting. She's mentally ill and violent. I thought her ex was bad, but she's just as bad. She can't grow the fuck up. That's why she couldn't hold a job. And when you put her behind the wheel, fuck, it's a nightmare. For someone that is always paranoid about everything and simply cannot hold a relationship with, that's really fucking bad. Like the one thing that, unlike her two exes before me, let's see, father of a kid's been in jail because he's a violent guy and he hit her. And then the second one is no better. But that's what gets chosen over me. And then, I tried to do the right thing. In the relationship, I was just like, well, what can I do to be a better partner? I was always there for the person. I was sweet. I was kind. And this person only focuses on getting the attention of likes from other guys. It's just like another girl that I dated this year. She don't have her kids because she's a bad mother. And she, will never get her kids back. Because she drinks and she drinks to a point where she can't even move. She decides to flirt with other guys and while she's in a relationship on a video message, on a video chat thing. These people will never have a decent relationship. Most importantly, some of them will never get their kids back if they keep behaving the way they're doing. See, when you're a single parent, my advice would be, you've got to be always focusing on your kids. Make sure that you're bringing the right people into the house, the right environment. Those kids deserve to be happy. And if you can't do your job as a mother, then why are you even a parent? Sometimes some people aren't supposed to be mothers. And they definitely should not get their kids. I could make one call right now and someone wouldn't have their kids. Because I've got a list of stuff that I could say to the child services that would make that woman get her kids removed. She's not fit to be a mother. And it's not good, the kids growing up in that environment. They're not disciplined. They run rampant. She mostly wants to hook up with guys and bring those sort of guys around her kids. I've dated some very interesting single mothers. Let's see, there's one where one day, look, I was going for a downward spiral. I hook up with anybody, yeah? So, this chick's like, oh, you want to catch up? Okay, it's late at night, yeah, why not? Don't care. So, I met up with her, ran down a driveway, jumped in my arms, gave her the biggest hug and kiss, wrapped her legs around me. That was nice. And I was like, oh, my kid's still awake. I'm like, oh, that's okay. Probably shouldn't be introducing me to your kid the first time I see you, like the very first night, yeah? And I walked into the house. It smelled like marijuana. It was very bad. Then I noticed on her coffee table was a bong. Right in the middle of the lounge room. Coffee table had a bong and a can of, like, some alcoholic can or something. Her kid was taking sips out of the alcoholic can, and the bong was right next to it. The house was a mess. It was trashed. And that sort of person brings up a kid in that environment. And having random dudes come in at nights. That's fucked. That's fucked up. The one thing that your kid should never be around is alcohol and drugs. And bongs. That's fucked up. And I dated her, like... You know why it didn't last long, that relationship? Because she decided that it was good to, in front of me, cheat. Literally, yeah, I'm not going to go into that story, but she ended up making me drive her home with the guy that she picked up from the bar. Oh yeah, right in front of me. And long story short, she ended up fucking him and also invited his mate over as well. And I'm the bad guy for dropping her and the guy off at her place. Last time I checked, your legs were open. You wanted that filled. You picked those two blokes. That was pretty fucked. And since then, she's been in and out of hospital, mental problems, and she's fucked. She can't love. And don't get me wrong, she wasn't a bad looking chick too, but it wasn't just her drinking or the drugs. It was her attitude, her anger. These single mothers have a lot of anger in them. And it's scary. And we're not talking about just angry here, psychotic. It's fucked up. Another single mother that every now and again I hook up with her, yeah? She's got a lot of kids, yeah? Don't get me wrong. The sex is amazing. It's top 3 of my best I've ever had. But the worrying thing about her is because I know that she's getting on in age, and you know, she'll see her kids grow up and shit, she looks for guys like me to leech onto. And not for a relationship, because I don't think she'll ever have a good relationship, but for sex. It's just simply sex. And it's sometimes at like 2 in the morning, 1 o'clock, random times, right? And I love it. But I feel like, you know, she should be careful who she's inviting into her home. Like, it's fine if it's just me. Like, I've, you know, been around her kids and all that shit. But hopefully it's not randoms. Because that could be really deadly. But I'll tell you something. Just because a single mother wants to date you doesn't mean it's a good thing. I've been seeing a single mother for about a month and a bit now. She's fantastic. She's absolutely fantastic. Right? She's a good mother to her kids. She doesn't ask me for money. She doesn't use me. But as much as, you know, I'd love her to just be like, hey, look, you want to be in a relationship? It ain't going to happen. Because I think her guard is way too up. And there's no way for me to penetrate that wall. Sadly. We've only cuddled and kissed, but I don't reckon she'll ever want to do anything more than that. I am the only guy. But I do worry, like, because I have met her kids now and they're lovely kids. I don't want the kids thinking, you know, I'm their daddy or, you know, anything like that. But it's a bit sad when most of the people I've dated, except for 2, I'd say that, have all been single mothers. That my fiance of 6 years was the best ever person I had. Never had kids. The second person that was a part of my life for a short time was an absolute fucking slut. And she didn't have kids. She tried to destroy me and my family. She failed. I've learnt that the reason why these single mothers want to go after me is because they think, oh, he's got money, he's young, he's naive, he'll fall for anything. Bull fucking shit. I've hooked up with 6 different girls this year. I'm trying to think how many of them are single mothers. 2, 3, she doesn't have her kids though. 4, 5. So 5 out of 6 all got kids. And that's not even including the one I dated in another state. I didn't even hook up with her. I was funny story is, if you're watching, I'm going to say it like it is. Both times when I went out with her, because she treated me like shit and was cheating on me anyway, I had women I was hooking up with here, behind her back. I don't condone cheating. But when that fucking bitch in another state made no effort to be there for me. Oh, it's just, yeah. I'm not going to go into it because I can make a fucking whole video about that bitch. But when she herself will never be a good mother. Her violent streak in her anger is so fucking disgusting. And if I showed you some of the messages, you'll be like, that's not the behavior of a mother. She's really fucked. To a point where even if she gets a cough, she thinks she's dying. She's paranoid all the fucking time. And it just gets to a point where you're like, oh, you're not fucking sick every day. Your brain is telling you you're sick when you're not. And when she's in a relationship, yeah, she doesn't make an effort. And I can kind of see why the guy that she was last with, cheated on her too. And she cheated on him. And I can see why people get angry at her. The fact that she goes on Facebook, when she's in a relationship, she can't even bother to message you during the day, but she can put up her stupid little photos on her stories and her Facebook. So she can get the likes from guys. So it doesn't pay attention to the person she's dating. All she cares about was, I look good in this skirt. No, you fucking don't. You look fat in that fucking skirt. That's just being honest. Your face is horrible. And you're posting that on Facebook. The only guys that are liking your shit are the desperate ones. Because most decent guys wouldn't like anything of her. She's a very bad, toxic person. And I hope I've got nothing to do with her ever again, to be fair. And then there was one I dated here. Actually, there was 2 I dated here. One where she didn't actually have her kids. Which, thank fuck for that. Because she couldn't even look after her fucking cats, lizards, whatever. I want her happy, even though she was disgusting to me and disgusting to all the other guys she dated this year. But the only thing that she needs to listen to is she's got to focus on herself. Get off the fucking social media apps. Get off fucking, these wrong sort of people. Focus on yourself. Get a job. Stop drinking. When you drink, that's when you become the problem. That's when you go psychotic. That's when you go insane. And not safe to be around. It's like another girl that I dated. I think she's got like 3 kids. She was the same. Like, you could talk to her normal, and then it would be like, the moment she drinks, oof. Delusional. Paranoid. Hears things in her head. Fuck that shit. I don't need someone like that. And the feel sorry for me act. Oh my god. These people that, but I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with that. It's like, yeah, you struggle because you buy fucking drugs. You buy your alcohol. You buy your fucking, smokes. That's why you're struggling. And then when you, decide, I'm going to have to make a GoFundMe or an OnlyFans or stuff, you're lying to yourself. You know behind the scenes what you're doing is wrong. And that's what some of these single mothers do. They want you to feel sorry for them. They want you to, feel sorry that, they're struggling, rah, rah, rah. Everyone is struggling. Me, myself, struggling. I mean, maybe I'm not struggling. Maybe I am. Maybe I just got a message at 12 o'clock at night. What the fuck? That was weird. I just think that people need to start understanding that it's not my idea to date single mothers. Yeah, you're going to hear my phone keep doing that. Sorry. It's definitely not my idea. Unfortunately, I'm single, and these single mothers come up to me and be like, offer me something. Like, I know there's a single mother in another state, yeah. She lives in Brisbane. Oh. We're going to meet up one day, and we're going to hook up. She's fantastic. But I don't look at her like a hookup. I look at her like a best friend that means a lot to me. She's never asked for anything. She's actually a beautiful single mother. She's doing her best to support her and her kids. She's not looking for handouts. She has a job. She has a license. She doesn't do drugs. You know, this is the sort of person that is a good mother to her kids. And I've told her that. Like, considering most of the women here in Adelaide, the single mothers can't compare to her. And I even said that to her, like, you'd make a good partner. Even to me. I'm not looking for a relationship, but, you know, if she was the one that came up, I wouldn't say no. And there's another one in Sydney where, I ain't gonna lie, there's actually two in Sydney, but there's one in particular that is a single mother, very attractive, and she's come a long way from where she was, and I would say definitely if I went to Sydney, we would be hooking up. You know, we used to do a little joke where she was my Harley Quinn and I was a Joker. Yeah, no, I'm not joking. We dated for about a week and then, yeah, I think I got cheated on by her. She'll admit that. But she's come a long way from where she was. She's a really hottie. Oof. She'd be one of my top 3 hotties on my Facebook. And yeah, like, I'd be able to hook up with her. It's basically like Sydney and Brisbane. I know that I can always hook up with someone. I've even got accommodation in one of those states. I could have done that also in Melbourne too. But I was like, nah, fuck that, man. I don't want anything to do with that bitch. The Melbourne one screwed me up. The mind games. Even my friends were saying, dude, you could do so much better than that. I mean, the woman doesn't even have a job now. She shouldn't be driving. Because she's not a good driver. And the fact that she's just a fucking nutcase. But I'm just saying it's not my choice by dating singles. I could go on and on about some other single mothers. Like there's one that I met up with this chick. Didn't have kids on her, right? But she had someone else's kids on her. Like a boy and a girl. Under the ages of, I'd say 13. Anyways, you walk into this flat. You know, I don't know what you call it. And holes in the wall. Holes in the wall. Rubbish all over the floors. You walk up the stairs, there was holes. Every room was trashed. The kitchen. There was fucking mice running across the floor. It was so filthy. And these two people, these two little kids, right? They were drinking with her. And they get under the age of 13. They were drinking with her. Smoking marijuana with her. And she goes, if you two have sex, you know. And I was like, oh man. You're encouraging underage people to have sex and smoking and drink. Oh my. That wasn't even the worst part. So, she was young, this girl, right? And one night we went into the city. And the girl I was seeing, her and her little boy went off because they wanted to try get some drugs from someone. I know, right? Underage. And this little girl, she was wearing a mini skirt and fishnets with her tits hanging out. The little girl turns around and goes, hey you. I'm like, what? She goes, you want to fuck me? No, I don't. And she's like, why not? All the other guys want to fuck me. And I'm like, I had to ask the question. I'm like, excuse me? What do you mean other guys? Oh, whenever she's with a guy, you know, they want me too. And I'm like, oh my God. So she was telling me, this underage girl, that it's normal for her at her age to have sex with older guys and give them head jobs for money and drugs. That's fucked up. And this woman is encouraging it. She's encouraging these two people that are underage to smoke, do drugs. I couldn't believe my own eyes. And I said to the little girl, I said, nah, I'm sorry, but this is not a sort of environment you should be in. And she's like, well, you're not like the other guys. I'm like, what do you mean by that? And she's like, you don't do drugs. I'm like, no. You're not hitting on me? Fuck no. And she's like, I actually respect you. So I'm going to give you some advice. So she was saying to me she wants to give me advice. So I said, oh, okay, well, what's the advice? She goes, when you get the opportunity tonight, run away from this. What do you mean run away from this? She goes, you don't know me, but I'm going to say this. Get out of this as soon as you can. The little girl told me that, and I was like, okay, that's weird. And I said, why is that? She goes, you will know why. So I'm like, okay. I took her word for it. I said, alright, I'll do that. And she goes, I'll back you up on it. I'll make up an excuse or something. And she's like trying to defend me. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, I didn't know what she's going with. I'm like, alright, so what's the best way to do it? She goes, say you got a phone call from home and you need to go home and look after someone. That's what she told me to say. And I said, what will you do? And she said, I'll make sure that I need to go home too. And I'm like, this is weird. Like, what the fuck's going on here? I'm like, alright, fair enough. So the woman and the kid got back, the other kid. They got their drugs. Don't want to know why. Don't know how. Don't know why. Considering she didn't have money. I said to the woman, I said, look, I just got a phone call. Got an emergency. Is that alright if I leave? She goes, oh, but I don't want you to leave. I'm like, I have to. And the little girl goes, yeah, I heard the call. Yeah, he has to go. And I'm getting tired too, she was saying. Like the little girl. So I left them. Right, got back in my car, started driving. I get a text 15 minutes, 10 minutes later, roughly. It's from the girl. The one that was like taking the kids out in the city and shit. Guess what, Andre? I got into a fight on the bus and I smashed some person up. So the little girl was warning me that when the other woman's on drugs, she gets... So the little girl warned me. And long story short, I think the woman ended up getting arrested and the two kids had to get driven home by the cops or something. Fuck, the little girl warned me. You know, the little girl warned me that something bad was going to happen. I'm glad that I got out of it. How scary is that? And I say that to this day. Like, I don't even know how I got so lucky. It was like I could have got myself into a bad situation and that little girl helped. So yeah, like that was very disturbing. So I always wondered, like, what happened to that woman? Like, because where was her real kids in all this? These are just two kids that she hangs out with. Why would a 30/40-year-old druggie want to hang out with young kids that are in there, like, younger than 13? You know what I mean? And the fact that that little girl at her age was wearing a miniskirt and fishnets. Oh, and the fact that, you know, when she said, you know, she does stuff with drugs and money. That little girl, I was like, oh my god. There are sick fucks out there wanting to do that. It fucking... Oh, we're not, like, on the way home, like, I couldn't stop thinking about that going, shit, that's fucked. And there are people out there every day. Some of these single mothers, they do that. They look for a guy that can buy them their drugs, their alcohol, and it's just sick. And they don't care what the guy looks like. So I knew one mother that literally was selling drugs and weapons from her own home when her child was in the other room. That's pretty fucked. That's pretty fucked. And the thing is, you know, these people would come at all times of night to her place while her little boy was in another room. That's pretty fucked up. Look, it's not just dangerous for her, but it's dangerous for the kid. Like, what if, you know, something goes wrong? She says she had a weapon to protect herself. It's like, yeah, but when there's more than one person, you've got no chance of defending yourself. No matter, unless you have a gun to shoot them. She probably did, but you know what I mean? You shouldn't even be putting yourself in that environment. It's dangerous. And it's in one of the most dangerous areas in Adelaide. Anyways, it is 12:07. I have work today, yeah. So I've got a trial at another job today. It's 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. A little bit nervous, not gonna lie. I'm a little bit nervous because I don't know, like, number one, the environment, the areas. But I know when it hits to about 3 o'clock, that's when you've got all the school kids coming out and there'll be a little terrors. So, yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. But, hey, look, if I get accepted, that's 4 jobs I'll have. I know, right? 4 jobs. The one I currently do on a Tuesday, the one I do 2 from home, and that one will be 4. So, that'll be good. Hopefully, I can get what I want hours there. I don't think I'm going to be hired for multiple reasons. I will not say in this vid, but in 12 hours time, it's only 12 hours time. That is weird to think that. And I'll be only getting sleep for 7 of those hours, because I'll be getting up about 10:30. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. Unless, it gets me a permanent job for an extra, 6 hours a week, maybe even. Yeah, if I can get an extra 6 hours from there, on top of what I have now, financially I'll be looking a little bit better. I want part-time. I want to do, if I get 2 5-hour days, it would even be better, because that's 10 hours. Plus what I get at work. So, anyway, check the 4 corner of your screen. It's got some great videos coming up, and I'll talk to you all soon.